Let's go. Let's go. I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you for taking the time out your night uh, and joining me. I am Jay Rome. Let me, damn it. I don't know if I'm, give me a second, trying to get the Instagram right. I don't think it's going. Well, there you go. So I can't get that to right. So get that to work. So I'll let it be. So I'm doing a live a little early today. I got a couple things I got to do today. I actually have a playoff game with the kids, so I want to get that done. Give me 1 second, please. All right. So um what my title was today was, do small routes matter? And the reason I asked that is because I was speaking with somebody and they had a question about a route that only had, I think, 8 or 9 stops on it. And their question to me just simply was, is it worth it? And my answer is yes, because um sometimes people get confused with the um I would say the like 15 to 20 stops and 8 or 9 stops. And you can make money with 8 or 9 stops. You can make money with 5 stops, depending on how big they are and what type of product you're bringing in. If you had a route with 8 or 9 stops and you're only doing Thomas products, you're gonna make money. If you have box stores, you have a major Walmart, you have a Costco, you have a BJ's, a Sam's Club, a Restaurant Depot. You could have a route that only has 5 stops, and it may be 2 big prisons, 2 schools, and a Sam's Club or a BJ's, or a Walmart, a BJ's, a Costco, and 2 major institutions in institutional convalescent home of a large magnitude. So don't just think stops and not worth it. Again, I always like to say it depends demographically where you're located and how big the route is, as far as the revenue it's generating on those stops or with those stops. So sometimes we've seen routes that are 15 stops and they're all spread out. If you got to crisscross 30 miles of territory for those stops, you're going to be out there all day, and then you're going to be working every day, long hours. So when asked to assess a route, we look at the territory, we look at the product, and not just how much are they selling the route for and what's the percentage I'm going to make. It's a lot more detail that goes into it with the assessment and understanding the return on your investment. So I just always want to give people the information that they need to get, all of the information before they make a knee-jerk reaction as to I'm buying this route. It's got to be it. It's worth it. This is what I want. Because, you know, like I said, the title of today's live was Do Small Routes Matter? And they absolutely do. Me personally, myself, do not operate a relatively large route. And excuse me. It does all right. It does pretty well. Treats me right. I'm happy with it. I'm not complaining at all. Was it bigger years ago? Yes. What I actually did was I trimmed some of the stops off that to me weren't really money makers. They weren't generating, and they were more time consuming than they were beneficial. So I got rid of those, and some of them actually were, I won't say taken from me, but for instance, I had a Sonic restaurant, which they get their bread is frozen now. Their product that they get, excuse me, as far as the bread they use, they get it, it's frozen, it's not fresh anymore. So that's I lost that stop, which was fine with me. It just allowed me to do something else, and I picked up the money in a different area. So speaking of that, what I'm noticing is more of the stores are going the frozen route, and they may have been doing it already, but I'm noticing it now. We recently had a reset in one of the stores that I service, and what I noticed was the space right next to me, they were bringing in the small short loaves, like the 8 ounces and or 12. So anyway, they're the short, small loaves that Beanbo does, that Flowers does. And after this reset last week, I noticed they took that space in the Walmart and they're bringing in their own small loaves. They took the small loaf space from the Flowers guy and the Beanbo guy, and now they're putting their own frozen loaves in there. There's no return because it's their bread. So it just has an expiration date, not a pull date. And the pull date you could say is the expiration date. But my point is now they're stocking the shelves with their own box bread. And to me, it just looks like a sign of things to come as far as the squeeze. And what do I mean by that? I'm looking at that as they look to see how the bread moves, you know, as they're putting it on the shelves themselves. And excuse me. Over time, I think this is the route they're going. I think the plan is ultimately to move in that direction because there's a lot more direct shipping going on throughout the grocery stores. We see it like now, for instance, in the box stores. They've always done it for me in the BJ's with the stuffing with our company. They do it with the Takis. And they absolutely do it with their own breads, not the ones they bake, the ones they get in frozen. So I think that in the near future, it's going to be more of that. And I think automation, as much as I don't like to sound like the conspiracy theorists that are out there, the automation with the AI generated machinery is going to be able to produce this bread at a much faster pace on a larger scale. And excuse me, the right now saving grace that I think is that we have is they can't get around the fresher product and the stocking of the shelves. The stores don't employ enough people to stock all of the shelves with the bread. And I don't know when, where, and how that may change, but it will at some point. So, like I said, my topic today was just the smaller stops do matter. And I'm seeing the frozen products with the direct to store stocking of the shelves in with our industry. So that may be a sign of things to come. If you are familiar with this, let me know. If you've seen this, let me know, and how do you feel about it? Um, I just wanted to get that part out there and, just see if I get some feedback. It's real interesting to me that they took the space to put their own bread, which is not uncommon. It's not the first time it's happened, but I actually seen it in real time, for the first time, and I noticed it, and I know exactly why they did it, because those short loaves are selling. They see the numbers, they check the data, and they just put their own in there. So I just think this is what's going to be happening over some time. And with the way things are now, people are looking for cheaper options, or should I say more economic options as far as the bread goes. So it's private label now, but we're going to move it. They may start moving into a more of a plain bag private label. And they already do have it in the stores. I know that the Flowers guy brings it in. They have a private label in Walmart of their own, and now we service them with the Beanbo private label, which is their bread with their name on it. So I'm curious to see how this goes and how it plays out. As it plays out more, I will keep you guys posted. With that being said, I didn't have much other than that today. I just wanted to keep with the format and keep my consistency with going live. I will definitely be back next week. Should be regular time. We have next week, which would be I think the 13, 14. Pretty sure it's 14. 13th. Next week will be the 13th. So we'll be back on the 13th, and I should have Brandon on with me. Yeah, we have a couple other things that we have going on, but I should have Brandon on with me, and we're gonna have a little different setup and a different format. So I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for taking the time out of your night. This has been Real Bread Life. I am Jay Rome. Catch us everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Facebook is RBL Winner. Real Bread Life is the group. TikTok is Real Bread League. The website is Real Bread League. That is the QR code that I have on the screen for the Real Bread League website. And most of you are watching on YouTube, which is Real Bread League. And you can also type in Real Bread Life and it will pop up. But that's all I got for now. Stay blessed. Keep stacking.